Hey guys, I'm going to do a very unscientific experiment here with three printers. Just wanted to it's going to be something more for fun to really see how they perform. But I want to show you kind of what we have competing against each other here is the FlashForge Creator Pro. With the FlashForge, the mods that I have on here is just a flexible bed with just the sheet of their brand of build tack on top of this. So just makes it easier to be able to lift this off and flex it and the prints come right off. I do have a all metal hot end from Micro Swiss installed on this. And over here we have the Wanhao Duplicator i3 Plus. I have the Zebra plate mod on here, so I raised my end stop, put this Zebra plate on here. So far, for just having something stick down, I've tried PLA, of course, ABS. I have tried PETG. I just recently printed some flexible materials. Everything seems to stick down extremely well to this this plate. And the nice thing is you can kind of rough it with some sandpaper. It still gives you a fairly smooth finish, and it's easy to unclip and flex it, and the part will pop right off. I'm super happy with the Zebra build plate so far. Other thing is I did install a all metal hot end on here. Other than that, everything else is stock on the Monoprice Mini here. Really, the only thing that I've done on this printer so far has been I had to replace the tension arm. Actually, I replaced the whole thing, but I had to replace the tension arm on this. Reason being, just was starting to get some very weird prints, and basically it looked like it was under extruding for a lot of things. I kept checking temperature settings to see if what the problem was, and what I ended up finding out is that this piece here was cracked, and it wasn't very obvious in the beginning to really say, oh my god, yeah, it's broke, because the arm itself here isn't cracked, but this outer piece was, and it was just enough underneath to make it so that it wasn't keeping enough tension against the extruder stepper here. So I ended up buying this kit on Amazon and just replaced it. You definitely can put a lot more tension on the arm here to increase the tension here, and it works really well for keeping tension. The only thing that I don't like about it is feeding filament through here. It kind of binds in the bottom of this fitting, and then until you make it through, then it gets stuck here, and it's kind of a pain to get the filament through. But once it is, it does definitely, there's a lot of tension here, and you can actually tighten this screw here to put more tension on the spring, and you can really tighten it down. So it is nice for that. But other than that, everything is pretty much stock. I did replace the button, the original knob. It was just kind of too slick, and it made it very difficult to be able to go through the menus. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put some screenshots up. I loaded a single print in. It's the OK symbol off of Thingiverse, and I loaded it up for each of these printers. I copied all the settings over. I'll show you screenshots of what the temperatures are set at, the speed, the infill, and all that, and I'll throw those screenshots up here. And then what we'll do is I Gonna wait till these cool down completely. I want them all three. They've been off for about 30 minutes. I'm gonna give them another 30 minutes. And that way I know they're all three gonna be at the same temperature. And we are going to fire these all three up and get them printing at the same time. I use Simplify 3D. I'm kind of curious to see how accurate the filament, it tells you basically how much filament you're going to use in millimeters. So what I did was I measured it off exactly for all three machines. So all three machines have the exact same filament loaded, and they are all three ready to go. And we will see if Simplify 3D left the right amount. I think I added an extra, maybe a short section just when I was loading the filament. I didn't want to run out at the very end. I wanted to have a little bit left. So we're gonna see, and I'm gonna set up a camera here. I have the OK G code loaded onto all three SD cards and the micro SD, and we're going to start all three of these machines as close to the same time as we can. And I'm curious to compare how fast which one gets done, how fast they complete the prints, how much filament is left on each print, and the overall finish, what that looks like. And I'm just going to show you a simple, this is a sample of the OK symbol that's off of Thingiverse. So we're going to see how these three print. Now the filament that is loaded is a Hatchbox. It is a PLA, and I believe they call this, it's like a gray, it's hard to describe, but it's a slight gray to it. It's not a clear, a very light gray, I would say, more of a transparent gray. So I'm going to get these three set up. I'm going to get someone to help me, and we're going to start all three of these printers at the same time. And really, there's no reason that I'm doing this. I just thought it would be fun to have the three of these compete against each other, see how much material was used between each of them, and to see really the overall results, how long they take and which one finishes first, or how much time is between each of them. And again, all the settings are kept the same across the board for all three printers. So really, I mean, we're going to take into account the hot end, how long it takes to come to temperature. The bed temp is set at 30°C on all three in the G code. So I'm not going to preheat them. I'm not going to do anything. It's going to be a cold start. All three are going to get turned on, and we're going to go straight into a print, and we'll see how long it takes. I'll see you guys back here when it's all done, and I'll show you the results. The printers have been off for 1 hour. I just turned all three back on. They are loaded, ready to go. I haven't preheated any of them, but to start all three of them, I'm going to have to bring in my assistant. And what's your name?
Sasha.
And Sasha, how old are you?
9.
And Sasha, what do you think about 3D printing? You think it's going to be part of the future?
Yes, because it's like all the technology from the past to the future. It's like, wow.
Cool. Okay, so now I'm going to show you what we're going to do. So what I want you to do is on this printer, when I say go, you're going to push this OK button. Can you do that? Wait till I say go. And I'm going to push this one, and we're going to push this one at the same time. And then when we're done, we're going to see which one finishes first. Okay, so ready? Don't push it yet. I'm going to say 3, 2, 1, go. That's when we're going to do it.
Okay.
So 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, perfect. All right, we will be back and see who wins. And here on the mono price, you can see we have, wait, not a whole lot left, I guess, till it goes up and through the Bowden tube, but I may be short because I didn't really take into thought of, until it ends up going through the extruder driver here, it may just end up pushing in and then running out. So this one may end up not quite having enough filament to complete its print. And here on the i3, we still have a pretty good bit of filament left all the way down through, so probably roughly maybe 2 feet left of filament on the i3. And then on the Flash Forge, it's funny, I mean, I pulled all 3 filament lengths the exact same length and stretched them out so that there wasn't any kinks or anything and there's a big difference in the amount of filament they've used so far. I mean, I would say the monoprice is probably going to run out before it completes its print, but we'll see. Still has a little bit to go yet. It's currently at 83%, and I3 is at 86, and here we are at 84. All right, we'll let them go and see what happens. Okay, they are completed. Here we have a finish time of 2 hours 58 minutes. It did completely run out of filament. I'm sure there's some left in the Bowden tube, but that's it. Yep, didn't finish the middle two fingers. Have a couple layers that it just never completed. Some stringing there. I'm going to pop these off the build plates and kind of take a look at each. Now on the Wanhao, you don't get a total build time on the display. And we're going to pull this out here and take a look. What we got, a lot of stringing on this one. In the trying to get a good shot of this, how it finished the middle finger there. It actually melded and rolled it over. Once I pop these on, I'm going to mark these off and do a real close inspection on them. And here is the flash forge, and you can see we had a little bit of melting here on top, but it didn't bend everything over. It just kind of made it a different color, I guess, because of the heat was concentrated there. But you can see that it's like clear. Everything else looks pretty uniform. So I'm going to pull these off the print beds. I'm going to mark each one and kind of do a couple photos of each, and we'll get a close-up critique of each, and we'll go from there. And I will post all this stuff up here, and you guys can take a look and kind of berate me if you want. Tell me what I did wrong. The other two printers, I just wanted to show you this quick too. The filament length, they were all three laid out on the floor, stretched tight, and they were all made the exact same length. And you can see we have probably, I mean, I can get a tape measure out here and measure, but I would say we're a little bit more than a foot of filament left on that. And on the flash forge here, you can see there's a little bit sticking up here, so I can disconnect this maybe one-handed, and we can see how much is left on this one. So I would say just about the same length, maybe even a little bit more left over on the flash forge. I was wondering why the mono price had ran out so fast, so I went back over my settings to make sure I had the exact same infill, the outer perimeters, everything is exactly the same, the speed. So I'm not quite sure unless, well, I thought maybe it could be, I thought maybe it could be in the base, but they're exactly the same. So we're going to have to check into this and see what's going on. All right, guys, I wanted to do my final thoughts on the printer challenge that I ran here. Just wanted to kind of show you one more time each of the prints here. I was able to get some of the black filament out of here. This is the Flash Forge. You can see some artifacting in the layering on the Flash Forge. The raft came off. You have a nice clean base. Here we have the Monoprice, which has by far the best finish of all three. Had some heavy stringing, but it was fairly easy to, you take your time, in a few minutes you could get everything off of there. And this is the Wanhao, and lots of stringing, lots of artifacting between the layers. Was running a little hot. Now I did a PID tuning on this printer, so I'm going to do some, actually I'm going to be doing some mods to this printer now. I'm still think I'm having a problem with the extruder. I'm going to have a really cool mod. I'm going to do a whole video on this, but this is the Flexon extruder. There's lots of unboxings out there of this, but this is different. This is not your normal Flexon extruder. I haven't seen any videos about this one in particular. This is their HT extruder. It's a high temp extruder. It has a lot of really cool features. I can't wait to get this installed and go over it. But I just want to show you one last thing to kind of wrap up this printer challenge. I actually reloaded some filament. It's a PLA. It's a Hatchbox PLA. And I printed out another version of the OK on the Monoprice and finished it all the way to the top. And I just want to show you, it didn't melt the tip. It didn't have any of the problems that the other printer had. Just some bridging issues, which, you know, that could have been a lot of different things what might have caused this. And when I printed this version of it, I didn't have the bridging issues. So I think for some reason I ran the exact same test with this with a fresh piece of filament just to see. And it seems like the finish on that Monoprice is just incredible. So I would say overall print quality, the Monoprice is just incredibly good. I would say the Wanhao, it's usable, it's okay, but I'm hoping to be able to fix some of the issues that I'm having. And the Flash Forge, it's just been a workhorse for me. I mean, I have been printing so many parts using the Flash Forge. It has just been so reliable. So stay tuned. My next video, I will be doing an unboxing and installation on the Wanhao Duplicator i3 Plus. And we're going to put this bad boy on. We're going to, I'll go over some of the features and stuff of what this thing can do. We'll be printing in some TPU and some Ninja Flex, and we'll see how things go. But I'm excited to see how this goes. Hopefully you guys are too, and I'll see you back here soon.